Adam Lerner, and welcome to another special edition of the Friday Flickr Photo Critique, as the Fro is eating
a gumdrop.
gumdrops.
I love that game, Chutes and Ladders. I mean, Candyland.
Candyland. So are you playing your own version of it over there?
I'm just eating the gumdrops.
So this is actually a 500 pics photo set, and 500 pics is a new site that launched maybe a few months ago and has a really nice clean layout for photo sharing. A lot of photographers have really embraced this. Some of the photographers that Jared and I know and are friends with are really using it. You know, I'm still on Flickr. I did set up a 500 pics account. You know, it's just kind of, you get to a point where it's like, how many different sites can you maintain? You know?
Yep.
But anyway, Julian sent me this set. He's a London-based photographer and composer, and he said that he recently converted to digital photography, which maybe means that he was shooting film previously. And he said that he's really been focusing on street photography, which, as you know, Jared, I love street photography. I know it's not so much your thing. I'm trying to say it nicely. You're not that into it?
Only if it was like a band on the street and I wanted to shoot them, more so than just randomness on the street. But a lot of people love it, and that's perfectly fine.
Well, I mean, I think what you're trying to say is that, do you dislike it because of the candid nature of it, because it's so unplanned and just so random? Or
I guess for me, I like having a subject that's doing something and I capture the moments that they're involved in.
Right.
And in this case, like in street photography, I don't know the people and there's really doesn't seem to be that connection. It seems like you're trying to steal something from them.
But don't you think it's also just about documenting like a moment or a period in time? I mean, there's some street photographers out there that have just chronicled, you know, very specifically times when you look at their photography and you say, you know what, that has got to be mid-1970s or mid-80s or whatever the case may be. You know, that's downtown New York or that's downtown Seattle. I mean, there's some people that really have embraced it and committed themselves to it.
Sure.
You know, this kid obviously is shooting around London, and, you know, he's going for a kind of like the grittier look out there. I mean, I've seen street photographers that like try to photograph every pretty girl on the street, and it's like, yeah, you know what, that's a little weird. You know?
Yeah.
That to me is more stealing images, but you know what? Look, it's out there for people to make their own mind up.
Yep.
Anyway, so let's start with this shot. We got three guys, and he calls this one three wine men, which I guess is a nice way of saying like three winos. You know, we would call them like bums or hobos or whatever. And
oh, really?
I don't know. What do you call them?
Well, no. I was trying to look. Is that they don't have wine? He's got what, slice in the bag?
It says white something ace.
Oh, all right. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You know, they're you know, they're pretty tatty looking guys. You know, they're a little rough around the edges. I think it's a really crisp black and white. I think the processing is excellent. I wish I could find out more about how this was shot. Let me just see.
500 pics doesn't let you?
Well, you know what? It could just be this guy's site. He's just got really these 3 pages, and that's it.
Okay.
Anyway, let's
go back. Go back to it. It's like what I think about this is the tones. You've got tones that span the whole tonal range for black and white. You've got everything from the really white guy in the middle to the where it says Missy or Mish. And right over there, you've got different tone paint. But his editing's great, and I even love the fact that you've got the door to the left and the slot where it's at for the mail slot.
Yep. So I agree with you. I think that, you know, for me, nice silvery tones, but we still have those thick blacks, which you love.
Yep.
And, you know, the only thing I would say is that, you know, it's a little bit skewed to the left, which kind of, I don't know, you know, whatever. It's not such a big deal because it is a street grab. So let us move on. All right, I'll do it this way. This one really stood out for me.
Ooh.
You know, just there's so much good stuff going on here. I mean, number one, the framing is awesome. The the processing is really spot on. I mean, you really get all the texture of his skin here and his ear, you know, the way that the light is passing through the smoke and getting on, you know, light on his face. You know, he's kind of like a hip dude, just, you know, exhaling a cigarette. There's maybe some arches in the back, so it's another kind of a street shot. I don't know, man. It's just really cool. It has a real kind of iconic vibe to it.
Yes. I was going to say that it gives me that Jim Marshall look. Early Jim Marshall, 1958, working with the jazz musicians.
Definitely.
This is just a solid black and white, and I don't know if it's 500 pixels, just handling images much better than Flickr,
sure.
Or this guy just does a great job with his edits, but this is a solid, beyond belief great job with his edit, especially with the tones. You've got the eye, and then you've got the extra light coming in, and then the smoke going around his lip and out his nose. That's solid.
I wish I could, you know, grab the EXIF information here. I mean, you know, I'm trying to figure out, you know, how this was shot and what it was shot with. You know, maybe this was like a Leica M9. You know, I know a lot of street photographers that are using them and getting just incredibly like thick blacks and great contrast.
Or it's a Fuji X100.
You know what? It could be that too. So, you know, real nice selective focus, which I love. Real nice image. Let's move on. Okay. Let's see. What does he call this one? Double Crossers. That's a clever title. Let me see what this other one was called, just to be sure. Smoking Man. All right. That's kind of obvious. Double Crossers. So, you know, this is one of those classic street shots where he just happened to catch these two people. Maybe they're waiting for a bus.
It's like the two with the pitchfork and the other thing. That's what comes to mind for me.
But again, you know, the processing is spot on. The thick black silvery tones. You've got that beautiful bokeh, but plenty of information in the background. Really nice. You know, I mean,
I really like it. I'm not going to wait for you to call on me this time. You know, I may not like street photography, but the tones and the contrast and the fact that neither of these two people are, or is she looking? I can't tell if she's either looking or not. But either way, the fact that they're standing in front of these buildings and these buildings are blown out of focus, but you can still see that they're buildings, and they're sitting on the car, and the car, or maybe they're just waiting for the cars to pass because they can cross the crosswalk. But I just think all around it's a solid image.
Yes.
And the processing's just spot on.
Yeah, the thing that really works for this is the context. You know, the fact that you can see like there's some kind of shops in the background. You know, the angle for which this was shot, instead of just shooting it straight down the street and really not getting a sense of it, you know, really works out. And, you know, just as we're moving along here, one thing I really like about, you know, Julian's set is that it's consistent. You know, he's got a real point of view. And
yeah, it's like a whole photo story of his day on the street.
Yeah.
And can I talk about this, or you want to go first?
No, you can, but I love this shot.
Yeah, I just noticed the feet standing on the street in the reflection. I didn't see that before. It's a double image. You've got, is somebody placing that? No. There's a mannequin holding that shoe, but she's looking through, I guess, the store window, because there's a lock on it. I don't know, but either way, it's great that you have two images. You've got the woman looking through at you, and you've got the feet across the street.
Well, you've got the mannequin holding the shoe, and you can see her waist over here. You've got another possible woman standing here with her shoes kind of in the other direction. Then you've got her peeking out through over here, and then you've got like the sidewalk and the cobbles kind of bisecting the frame. It's just, you know, this is somebody who really is looking and seeing.
You're gonna need to send him an email to get more information, and then do an add-on at the end of the video.
Absolutely, because I want to know more about this. I really, you know, I looked through this set and I was like, man, this kid is really onto something here.
Try to get him on the Skype line to discuss it.
All right. So, what does he call this one? Brooklyn hipster?
Drugged out girl.
I mean, she kind of looks like a Brooklyn hipster with like the headband and like the...
What's it called?
It's called Tongue Girl, or Tongue Out. Tongue Out, sorry. You know, the thing is that, you know, it says Brick Lane, London. I would imagine, I'm sure that people, and I hope people will comment, I'm sure that that's a particular part of London. Maybe it's notorious for younger people or artistic people or something like that. Because if he chose to put that form of context in the title, it probably lends itself to this image. And I love this. I mean, just this youthful look that she has, you know, her crazy teeth, that kind of devilish look in her eye.
What are you trying to say about British teeth?
Nothing. I just think that she looks really cool. And, you know, the fact that he just happened to catch this expression at this close, you know, is pretty impressive. And again, you know, thick black, silvery tones, great processing.
It almost looks like film.
Yep. And
it almost has a film feel.
He said he recently converted from film, so, you know, maybe that's a lot of what's informing his photography.
Sure.
All right, this one is called Boipeba?
Brazil?
Boipeba Kids. Children out of, oh yeah, children out of Brazil.
So we went a little further in the world?
We did. We just hopped on a jet and just traveled south, very far south. You want to go first?
Yeah, it's another great candid photo. As you get an email, it's a really nice candid photo, and you know, nobody's looking at the camera. That always makes an image sometimes stronger. The door is great. The context that they're naturally framed in the doorway.
Absolutely.
It's just a very nice, another nice image.
And look at those skin tones, man. To nail skin tones like that with black and white. You know, that's nice, you know.
I don't know what he's shooting with or processing with either.
I don't know. I'm leaning toward the Leica, but you know, it's just again, it's just really nicely seen and nicely processed, etc., etc.
Yep.
Wow. Very powerful image. Let's see what this one's titled. Untitled. Well, you know what? In a lot of cases, not actually titling something just, you know, allows you to kind of put the context in yourself.
Well, I'll say that I've in the past, people always like, you need to title this photo. I'm like, no, the photo is what it is. It's a little girl sitting on a step with a flowery dress.
Right.
What do you want me to call it? Little girl sitting on the step wearing a flowery dress? You could have seen that yourself.
Sure.
Great depth of field. Again, this whole set is black and white. It
yes.
Just, I'd be interested to see if this is actually digital or not.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he said he recently converted to digital, so...
I hear you. This could be film.
Well, I mean, look at how thick it is. I mean, just, you know, there's so much context in the frame there. You know, the detail is just so nice. The highlight and shadow detail is just beautiful. This is a tough shot, and you know,
well, you have to add in the fact that the guy is so close that he actually knows he's getting his picture taken this time. So there has to be some communication going on.
Yeah, and look, that's part of what street photography is you know, being stealth, but also connecting with, you know, your subjects.
Mm-hmm.
So yep, we'll move on. All right, and let's see, poppies chips. Yep, poppies. I would say that this is probably not my favorite in the set.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
You know, look, what works for me in this set is the two guys kind of having their conversation, the guy to the right kind of busting the guy, you know, Julian taking the picture, and the fact that there's all these people that are still, you know, that are they lend context, okay? I'm not a huge fan of this post, nothing you can really do about it, and, you know, in the context of the impact of the other stuff that he's done, I don't feel the same level of impact with this one. Jared, please.
Yeah, pick me. The post is a killer. This shot seems like it should be square on, right in front, right in the middle. Move to the left, get the restaurant in there with the people basically over the shoulders of these guys talking.
Yes.
And then that would have made this the killer shot.
Yep. But again, you know, we've got those beautiful tones and yada yada.
I actually think this one's a little more neutral than I would have liked.
Yeah. Yeah, this one could anyway, moving on. Let's see what this one's called. Easy Riders. So we got like some like middle-aged, you know, hairy-chested dude with some like hot young thing on the back of his scooter. Oh, come on, what's going on here? All right, let me get rid of that. Excuse me. you know, this kind of a shot really works. I mean, the way that she's just kind of clutching his jacket, you know, she's so sexy and he's like so middle-aged. And the fact that they're
Maybe
on
it's his daughter.
that Barcalounger type scooter, you know, but it's also cool too because we've got the store windows in the background, some pedestrians swinging by. I don't know.
And a connection is being made. There's a
Yes.
connection being made between the subjects and the photographer, and they act, you know, they like it. You're not going to run into that all the time on the street.
Right, like he's looking square on, and it almost looks like she's kind of lifting her head to see out of her helmet.
That's on backwards.
No, it's not. That's one that has one of those visors that slides down.
Oh.
Oh. All right, and we are going to go to our final image of Julian's here. What do we? Oh yeah, this one was called Easy Rider. There we go. All right, and this one is called Man in the Mirror.
Yeah, I just noticed that before you said that.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we had those great tones for about 7 of the photos, 8 of the photos.
Yep.
And I think that this, again, the tones for me are a little neutral. I think if it was matching the processing of the others,
Sure.
it would pop more.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot going on. Sorry, there's a lot going on. You've got the, you know, the slider, the shutters to the left. I like everything in the scene.
Yeah, I mean, this really is, you know, a really cool street scene. The graffiti just adds like great texture to the backdrop. The dude in the mirror, you know, Charles Bronson's like long lost cousin or something like that. Yeah, no, it really works. So, you know, I want to find out more. You know, I'm going to try to get a hold of Julian, see if he wants to comment on this. Maybe we could set up a Skype call. And I think the thing about street photography is that, you know, like what Julian's done is that he's gotten very close to the subject. He's just put himself right out there, and he's not afraid to take those shots. And that's kind of what you have to do. I mean, you just have to feel the scene, and you have to be ready with your camera. You have to be ready with your settings, and you have to just be willing to go for it. You can't stand there and then, okay, I'm going to like focus and get my aperture, blah, blah, blah. You just have to be ready to go for it because these moments are fleeting.
Yeah. Yeah, a fantastic job. Great set. Would love to know more, but it's definitely one of the better sets that we've both seen.
Absolutely. And I love that this guy's got like a consistent point of view, and I think he's really onto something, documenting the streets of London. So that's it for this critique. If you guys want to send in your set, your photo set, create a photo set of your 10 best images, either on Flickr or 500 pics for that matter, email them to adamlernerphoto@gmail.com, and you can be part of the Friday Flickr Photo or Photo Critique, as we have had in this special edition. Once again, thank you, Jared.
You're welcome.
So that's it for now, and we'll see you soon.